Good morning. The old man here. 12/5/2024. First of all, a few things, just what's going on around here with the chicken coop. We're kind of updating the exterior of the chicken coop. Started out life as a shed, and the shed originally had like a strand board, I think it was called, siding on it that had been painted about 25 years ago, and the bottom of that's all pretty much rotted out now, and we're starting to do rough cut 1 inch like barn slab wood all the way around, or not slab wood, but 1 inch pine boards all the way around. They're pre-painted red, so they look like a barn when it's all done. And I'm gonna convert the rest of the shed. It's like a 12 by 12 shed, and only half of it's a chicken coop right now, and we're gonna convert the other half. Just an update there. So the subject I'd like to talk about today is Trump, and can Trump really make a difference? By the way, this video was inspired by a GMC 9451. Again, I'm doing this in the morning of December 5th, and it's going to, I think, be a little bit more background noise, but hopefully it doesn't show up too much in the video. We'll see. At any rate, can Trump make a difference? Well, first of all, I believe, and I think a lot of people don't realize that Trump pretty much is just the face of the movement, if you will. He, at some point, quite a few years ago, even prior to 2016, was chosen, in my opinion, by the Patriots. And it's kind of hard to say who all's involved in the Patriots, but I think you'll get the idea. But Trump was chosen as the front man. They needed somebody that, one, had a squeaky clean record, as far as, not unlike the, three-quarters of the deep state. All these politicians, they don't have a clean record. The reason they're a politician is they've been pushed to the top by all these other oligarchs of the world, the people pulling the financial strings, and none of them have a clean record. Therefore, they can control all of them. But they needed somebody that could, had a clean record, good businessman, and what have you. Not only that, he's had for a long time a presence on TV. Now, although it, going way back, it wasn't a large presence, but people knew who he was. Is somebody familiar. And so at the end of the day, in 2016, he became president. In my opinion, the first 4 years was just to show, it was for the Patriots to show the American people and the world, really, that things didn't have to be the way they were. We are progressively sliding down a slippery slope, and things are getting worse and worse, and people are like, yeah, fine, we can see it, but what do we do about it? Is there anything we can do about it? And I think Trump showed, yeah, there is something we can all do about it. So Trump and the Patriots, of course. So they had to show you, his first 4 years, in my opinion, was to expose the deep state that people didn't even realize existed. Expose the U.S. or the UN, expose many rhinos in politics, You know, just to open it up, open people's eyes to the deep state. Excuse me. And over time, I think he did that. And you know, prior to him, whoever you'd never heard of fake news, fake news, fake news. And then we found out that that's exactly what it was. But that needed time to sink in. And I believe that is Biden actually was an intentional pause. You went 4 years to see that, oh yeah, we can turn this around and we can make it really good. And then you had 4 years of, oh my God, we're right back to the same old stupid bullshit as before, only worse. Okay. So that woke a lot of people up. And then you've seen the world really come together for Trump's second election. And I think that he's got alliances that you don't even realize set up. If you remember right, in his first 4 years, he had visited all world leaders. And, you know, you've seen him in the press, but the press really didn't give you an idea of what was going on. But you could see some of these world leaders pretty damn pale. And, you know, for the first time in a hell of a long time, there was no more wars across this world. Pretty much everything had come to an end, or at least a temporary standstill. And then again, during the next 4 years, what do we got? What do we got right now? You got hot shit going on all over the world. You got some big ones, you got a bunch of small ones. So, you know, left to their own devices, they set the whole damn thing on fire. The progressives or the deep state, when there's war, they make money on both sides. You know, they take, you know, let you, you know, labor and save. And at the end of the day, they'll steal it all, one way or another. One way or another, they're going to steal it all. But I think over time, we'll see Trump's plans. Kind of interesting thing that I just heard of. I guess it happened 2-3 days ago. But Trudeau went down and visited Trump in Mar-a-Lago, and I don't remember the details, but something to the effect that Trudeau said something stupid, and at the end of the day, Trump said, well, it looks like you guys could just be the 51st state, and maybe you could be governor for a while. I believe Trump is projecting something that, to me, has made a lot of sense for a long time. You know, it's such a vast country and one little province of idiots, kind of like the idiots in D.C. One little province of idiots are running the whole damn country. I think you'll see this in the near future may come to an end. Now, I may not be right about them becoming the 51st state, but it might be pretty interesting to see how this all goes. The one thing about, and another thing to think about is the fact, and this kind of really doesn't make sense, that Trudeau and the Parliament, if you will, had sold all their gold. Kind of seems ridiculous to do something like that. You know, maybe they're thinking that that, you know, they've got so much gold and rare earth minerals and or metals and so much oil in the ground, gas, that they really don't need a gold reserve, of which I think is a huge mistake. But who knows? Kind of hard to say what they're thinking, but we'll see how that pans out as well. But the thing you got to think about, in order for Trump to make a big difference, the same thing has to happen either way, whether Trump, let's say we'd got the cackling idiot as the president, we are at the end of the fiat dollar. And when I say dollars, I mean fiat money across the world, not just the dollar. But we're at the end of that. And so we would that's got to come to an end, or it is going to come to an end one way or the other. Even though the cackling idiot didn't get in, it's time, it's destined. There's really no going back now. The fiat dollar will come to an end. Just because Trump's in there doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's going to happen. Not sure when. Many say, they're thinking the end of the 20s. In other words, 2029, somewhere around there, pretty much 100 years after the last crash. I don't know. I don't think it's going to take that long. You got to think about it. Trump's got the House and the Senate right now, and that's exactly what he needs to get things done. And he's only got a guaranteed 2 years of the House and the Senate. So in my opinion, that this is going to have to happen and be well on its way of being fixed in the next 2 years. So kind of hard to say how it's going to go, but it could get pretty squirrely. Again, I think, the powers to be have had, I tell you, talk about having a plan. But honestly, I think the powers to be have, they've got a 100-year plan, a 200-year plan, 300-year plan. I don't know. But, we need to definitely have a plan. If we don't have a plan, our plan will definitely fail. And I think part of that plan would be to, have some gold, at least some gold and silver. And honestly, I'm now starting to think more about the Bitcoin trade. And I thought, man, that's never going to make any sense for a dollar. Or replacement of the dollar as a currency for average everyday folks. Number one, it's not part of the Constitution, of which I think Trump's and the Patriots are constitutionalists, and we're going to go right back to the Constitution. And so it's not part of the Constitution, so I don't see that being a play for everyday money. And besides, it's limited to 21 million. Blah, blah, blah. So many of them have already been lost way back when it really didn't mean anything to anybody. But let's maybe, or at least what's starting to go through my head is that, like they talk about the BRICS and the settlement unit, how about Bitcoin is the settlement unit for what is to come, where we get away from the SWIFT system and the fiat system, and we go to something more tangible. And it's not that Bitcoin is a store of wealth, but Bitcoin has been proven for 12 years of not being able to hack it, and it's actually a way for countries to settle debt. Okay, not for the individual. I believe the individual is in the future is going to be using gold and silver. And let me tell you, when we get done with this, ain't nobody going to want nothing to do with a paper piece of currency. Nobody is going to take a paper note. Nobody's going to accept their crap on a digital screen. You're going to want physical. Eventually, it'll go back to digital again when people get more confidence. But it'll start out, for God only knows how many years before people believe in anything but, gold and silver as a currency. Maybe in the future you'll be able to deposit your gold, let's say an ounce of gold and in a depository, and then you can transact off of that ounce of gold, whatever the dollar value is at the time, or not dollar value, but whatever value it's given at the time. You can transact off of that. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say which way it's going to go. But I guess what I'm trying to say is the dollar's day, or fiat money, period, across the world, its day is coming to an end. I think it's sooner than later. But they're obviously, you know, it can go a lot different than what I'm thinking. It could be that Trump just needs to expose it even more and get people more ready. I'm not sure. My personal opinion is definitely going to happen in the next 2 years, but who knows? Be pretty interesting. But at any rate, at the end of the day, whether the progressive would have won, you would have had the total collapse of the dollar, and they would have brought you into surveillance-based CDBC and controlled every aspect of your life. It's not that they don't already. They probably control 95% of your life, but at the end of the day, with the CDBC, they would definitely control 100% of your life. You wouldn't be able to do anything without their permission, right down to being, telling you where, like Chinese, telling you where to live, how far to travel, you can travel, whether you can go on vacation or not, where you're going to work, and how you're going to spend the currency. And that's where the CDBC would lead you down that road. Gold and silver is true freedom. And if that's your base, and Trump can expose, and the Patriots, of course, can expose all of the progressives' programs, everything they've set up in place that you may think is normal, but if we had gone back, or if we can go back to real money and find out that all of these different things that we think are normal now, because it's been all of our life, and we find out that it was all meant to extract wealth from you, and all of those programs are gone. So much of the federal government is gone. Remember the founding fathers, when we started out, the House and Senate was a part-time job, and those are pretty much covered by people that were business people, or plantation owners or whatever. But they were business people that for X amount of months out of the year, they vacated their job or their business. They let somebody else run it for them. They went and helped run the government for a few months while it was in session, and then went back to their business to run their business. That's the way this government was really originally set up. And in fact, if you think of it that way, as a part-time job and a patriotic duty, and you went in, you did what you could on a part-time basis for 4 years, well, you'd be looking forward to getting out of there and getting back and just running your business, and not have to go back there every so many months out of the year. You'd want to get back to your business and run your business as efficiently as you could, and you'd be getting a whole lot smarter people in politics, running politics. And again, I think if you follow, and they'll be exposed more and more as time goes by, but if you follow these politicians, you will find that most of them, especially the old-timey politicians, they're also goddamn corrupt and basically psychopaths or pedophiles. And I think you'll find a whole lot of them are pedophiles, just like Hollywood. You're going to find out that Hollywood, you're going to want to burn it to the ground. It's so full of pedophiles and sex traffickers. It's insane. But at any rate, I think what you're going to find out that this system, either way, it's got to come down all the way to the ground. It's going to suck. But on the other side, instead of a completely control-based CDBC, you're going to see us coming out as a brand new country with the Constitution and rule of law. And we will build it from there. We are extremely strong country, strong people. And when the shit hits the fan, we band together. The only thing separating Americans, for the most part, is politicians. When you get the goddamn bureaucracy out of the way, then get the hell out of our way. We are a force to be reckoned with. And I'm not talking militarily. I mean, we are going to build shit. And we're going to make shit that people want. Not this Chinese crap that's been shoved down our throat for so damn many years. I could go off on a rant on that forever. So we're not going there tonight. I will some other time, though. Guaranteed. But good to see. I hope you guys like seeing me in the morning as well as the evenings. Last night I was so beat I just couldn't hardly keep my eyes open, let alone have a halfway decent thought process going through my head. So I crashed early and planned on getting up and doing a video in the morning, and I think this worked out a lot better than it would have worked out last night. So I thank you guys. Appreciate it. Have a good day. Bye.